SCP-5520, The Rabbit Hole. Working for the SCP Foundation is not like working for a typical company. That much is obvious, of course, but I'm not just speaking about the risk of dying to anomalies or the frequent breaking of the universe's laws. Signing up to work for the Foundation is often a lifelong commitment, demanding a life of secrecy and loyalty. While the exact specifics of the Foundation's hiring process is up to interpretation, there's no doubt that if the Foundation hires someone, they're going to be pretty committed to the Foundation's ideals and goals. SCP-5520 focuses around a couple of Foundation researchers and their loyalty to the organization, along with the price of that loyalty. SCP-5520 is listed as Archon class, meaning that, while it could theoretically be contained, it shouldn't be, for one reason or another. The containment procedures state that containment of 5520 is unnecessary at the moment, although if it becomes necessary, Sundown Protocol must be initiated, which involves opening the bulkhead gates to Lake Huron and flooding the Acroamatic Abatement Facility. SCP-5520 is former SCP Foundation Senior Researcher and Provisional Site Co-Director Dr. Wynne Riderick. He is now a Class 3 reality bender as a result of long-term exposure to esoteric materials. Correspondence with him has revealed serious and progressive cognitive impairment, dissociation, depersonalization, derealization, and both retrograde and anterograde amnesia. He remains aligned with the goals of the Foundation, however, but no longer answers directly to the executive structure. He presently resides in a series of vast caverns and refineries located beneath Site-43, classified Acroamatic Abatement Facility AAF-W by former Site Director Dr. Vivian Leslie Scout. Although the facilities themselves exhibit no anomalous properties, their scale, location, and the activities performed there do. Both manual and automatic cave surveying techniques have been unable to determine the precise extent of AAF-W, but best estimates suggest over 2 million cubic meters of interior space. A breathable oxygen atmosphere pervades throughout, presumably as a result of Wynne's activities. Alright, so we have a Foundation member that has since become a reality bender due to spending so much time around anomalies, and is now located deep underneath a Foundation facility, where he continues to work in alignment with the Foundation's goals. Before we continue on, let me quick give some backstory as to what's going on here. Site-43 is the center of the On Guard 43 canon, a rather extensive hub of various storylines and articles that focus around various personnel and the often creative solutions they devise for containing things at Site-43. Despite their atypical approach to containing some very tricky-to-contain anomalies, they have an admirable containment breach record. One of the key things done at Site-43 is Acroamatic Abatement, which simply means that they deal with solutions for all of the anomalous gunk that is constantly created by various anomalies, such as the reddish-brown substance created by SCP-173. Dealing with enough anomalous goop is bound to create some other weird stuff in the same area, and it seems that Wynne himself became affected after enough years. Wynne headed the Foundation's effort to manage the toxic materials generated by its collected objects from 1915 to 1966, with his Acroamatic Abatement Group moving from Vienna, Austria, to Provisional Site-43 in Canada in 1943, where he became co-director with Dr. Vivian Scout. Under Wynne's direction, the Applied Occultism and Acroamatic Abatement sections of Site-43 became the foremost facilities for studying and neutralizing esoteric effluents on Earth. When Site-43 was upgraded from provisional status in 1965, Dr. Scout became the site director with Wynn's sponsorship. Wynn subsequently disappeared from Site 43 on the 14th of November 1966, after 51 years of employment. A search of his dedicated research laboratory and achromatic abatement facility AAF-A found it significantly altered and its 43 staff members absent. Wynn's notes revealed dozens of conflicting, frequently incoherent or unintelligible programs of research, suggesting that his disappearance had been voluntary. The entire site was immediately placed on alert, and Dr. Scout ordered the Pursuit and Suppression Section to investigate the facility further. 6 members of MTF Delta 43 are sent into the facility and head down to the basement sublevel, which should be the lowest point of the facility. The team lead reports that there are considerably more pipes in the wall than the schematics show, and he can't be sure without touching them, but some of them look like they're made out of bone or porcelain. There's an open door leading to a stairwell going down nearby, so the team proceeds down the steps. They exit out into a glass-walled tunnel with cave walls visible on the other side of the glass, illuminated through unknown means. At the other end of the tunnel, it opens up into a very large cave system, with one of the team remarking that this place looks like the facility did in the 40s when they were first building it. They continue on, soon finding some of Wynn's researchers, examining some pipes and taking notes. They approach them with caution, calling out, although the researchers show no response to the MTF, even when snapping their fingers in front of their faces. For now, the team continues on, moving through 5 more sublevels of this new underground facility, before finding a closed door. It doesn't seem to be locked, so they slowly open it. On the other side, the team leader reports that he sees what appears to be an underground ravine. He can't even begin to speculate on how deep it is, but there are structures along the walls and at the bottom. It looks like a natural cave system that was augmented with artificial construction consistent with the other alterations they've seen so far. Another team member says that it looks like somebody turned 10 factories inside out and stacked them. Control asks if it looks like this ravine and its contents are larger than AAF-A, but the team leader responds that this ravine and its contents are larger than Site 43. The MTF was recalled to regroup and plan further investigations, although the research personnel were not re-encountered on the way back. Keeping in mind that this takes place in 1966, the Identity and Technocryptography section of the site had recently completed the installation of an experimental site-wide computer system with a rudimentary command line interface. When the team returned to Wynn's office, they discovered that his networked printer had produced the following message for Dr. Scout. Vivian, I blame the comic books. I started reading them as a middle-aged man. Something frivolous to take my mind off of toxicants and virions and threshold limit values. Something fantastical. I do some of my best work when I'm distracted. So many of those old superheroes were scientists, just like us. They got their superpowers because something stupid but scientific happened to them. Jay Garrick inhaled heavy water vapor, and instead of gaining nothing, he gained super speed. Rex Tyler created a 1-hour strength pill and started popping them like an addict. Ted Knight found the cure for gravity, and he used it to fly around and beat people up. My idiotic idols. I swear, Viv, I didn't intentionally expose myself to esoteric materials. Then again, neither did the Flash. There were accidents, of course, even back in Europe.